Hey, what's up, everybody? We got a little bit of an odd story here. This was on the news a few days prior to when I'm recording this. Finally got around to shooting a video on it. I hate cats. I don't like dogs either. As I've said before, other people's pets are fine. I just don't want to walk around picking up their shit, cleaning up their piss, trying to get their hair off of my clothes and out of my car. I don't want to be subservient to an animal, so I'm not an animal person, but if I ever see your dog or cat in the elevator where I live, then obviously I pet the pet. But to have one myself, no thanks. Too much mess, too much hassle, too much cleanup. I'm not being subservient, walking around picking up someone else's poop. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has spent millions in taxpayer dollars to perform laboratory tests on cats at 3 facilities nationwide, including a secretive lab at the West Los Angeles VA. The White Coat Waste Project, an advocacy group aimed at stopping taxpayer-funded experiments on animals, sued the VA to get the photos and documents pertaining to its experiments. Those are healthy cats who are purchased from commercial breeders by the VA with our tax dollars, brought into the laboratory, locked in a tiny cage, mutilated, tortured, have chemicals injected into them, asphyxiated, and then are killed and dissected. Justin Goodman, Vice President of Advocacy and Public Policy at the White Coat Waste Project. The photographs showed the cats hooked up to electronic monitors, implanted with electrodes, and eventually euthanized. In the name of science, trust the science. Artemis, a 1-year-old cat purchased by the VA, was described in documents as purring, friendly, and curious. Artemis was subjected to a procedure called a head implant, in which scientists drilled holes into his skull to test for sleep patterns. After 3 years of tests, Artemis was euthanized due to the completion of the study, according to documents. It's exploiting veterans to basically get tax money to torture cats, Goodman said. That's what's happening here. It's indefensible. But let's learn a little more. I don't know. I mean, science is what it is. Somebody has to be tested upon, and it shouldn't be a human. The agency, which was called on last year by Congress to explain the experiments, has admitted that it spent nearly $5 million in taxpayer money on the testing at the West LA laboratory alone. The VA claims the experiments benefit vets because sleep disorders are associated with many of the consequences of combat experience, including PTSD. It blows my mind that we can fight a pandemic with a code, but they have to bash a cat in order to come up with some sleep pattern. Madeline Bernstein, president of the LA chapter of the SPCA, said, "It really doesn't make sense in 2021. Do they have any suggestions for alternatives on how to test these things to benefit veterans? Let's see. Perhaps they do." Both Goodman and Bernstein believe the studies offer no benefit for veterans at all. The studies that are done on cats' brains, most medical experts say, will not replicate in the human brain. Bernstein said, okay, that's something for sure. We definitely want to know, is what they're learning on animals beneficial in any way to humans? If it's not, then it is pointless. I would agree to that. The studies that are done on a cat's brain. Following congressional inquiries, the VA said it would be ending the secretive experiments later this year, but Goodman said he had his doubts. Based on our past experience with the VA, we have always been very careful in accepting anything they say at face value, he said. As for Congress, a bill called the CATS Act has been introduced. It would permanently ban unnecessary taxpayer-funded experiments on cats conducted by the VA. The act builds on other legislative efforts, including the Puppers Act. Oh boy, to permanently ban all unnecessary animal testing at the VA. And that's the article. Well, who gets to decide what is necessary or unnecessary? I'll just say this. It's just some FYI. It's something where we definitely don't want to see animals being tortured for no reason. Yeah, you get where I'm going with this. If there's a reason, if there's some benefit that can be provided to humans to where these experiments are done and we don't have to test on humans, then I'd be all for it. A lot of you may disagree, you may hate me, you may give me the thumbs down and all that stuff. It's cool. You can feel how you want to feel, but I'm not somebody who's ever going to value an animal over a human. If there's some benefit that can be derived, then drill, baby, drill. That said, if the expertise and the science lines up. And I don't want to hear no activist bullshit either. Because obviously these idiots like Goodman and Bernstein have an agenda. I don't care about them. I have zero concern about what they're talking about. They're idiots to me. But if you can demonstrate with 100% certainty that there's no benefit in humans, then I'm on board. We don't want to see animals being harmed unnecessarily. Necessarily, as I said, humans have to benefit. That's just the way it is. There's a lot that can be learned from testing on animals. As I said, if there's no benefit, then yeah, it needs to stop, and that money needs to be spent elsewhere where there can be benefit. So after seeing this video, go hug your cat and your dog, and don't forget to grab a mitt when you go clean up its shit. Take care, everybody. Be well. Thanks for watching.